Thursday, we took Aries over to Circle Oak Equine to meet with Dr. Carrie Ridgway, a well-regarded veterinarian and physiologist who specializes in acupuncture and chiropractics. Dr. Ridgway began to test various points on Aries and zeroed in on those related to gastric ulcers. He said there are some points on the front of the lower neck muscles, a line behind the scapula and over the back, a few behind the last ribs, and a couple more over the hind end. You can determine the severity and rough location of the ulcers based on the horse's reactivity at these various points. Aries showed most reactivity to points related to the stomach. I asked Dr. Ridgway about hind gut ulcers. He showed me another point that if Aries had hind gut ulcers, he would have kicked. He did not. I am no expert in acupuncture, but I will be studying it, I can assure you. There are apparently 3 ways to stimulate the various acupuncture points: with needles, with pressure, and with red light. While Dr. Ridgway worked on a few other horses, his wife Christine treated Aries with a red light over the acupuncture points related to the stomach. I have never seen Aries take to someone so fast. He never even raised an eyebrow at her. Let her crouch under him, too. I think he had a crush on her. Aries is not one to show signs of vulnerability in the company of people he does not know. So once Christine was done, it was cute to see him try to stifle the yawn that was itching to come out. He was feeling better, but he didn't want anyone to see it. Dr. Ridgway came over to finish Aries' treatment, working on the hind leg points related to the stomach. Aries was a little suspicious, but again, he accepted Dr. Ridgway back in his blind spot. Aries definitely has a sense of when people are trying to help him. I couldn't see what Dr. Ridgway was doing from where I stood, but smiled as I reviewed the video and saw him gently stroking Aries to reassure him. It sounds cheesy, but Aries is the best lie detector I've ever met. You just can't approach him if you aren't sure of yourself and confident. Aries' demeanor alone tells me that Dr. Ridgway is a special man. Dr. Ridgway said Aries had a thickening over the bone below his right hock. He asked if I knew if Aries had done anything. I said, not that I know of, but he could have gotten it any number of ways in the wild. I'd kind of be curious to see a full scan of Aries, wonder where he's had broken bones or other injuries that have healed. The symposium I attended last week was about laterality or handedness in the horse. I asked Dr. Ridgway to show me the acupuncture point on the chest that helps release the tension in the front end. He said it was a good point to put pressure on before tacking up. Putting deep pressure on this point for 30 seconds or so can help reset a lot of the muscles in the front end. I gave Aries several days off after visiting Dr. Ridgway. He is also going to start a directed treatment for ulcers. On Monday, I asked Miranda to give us a lesson where we would concentrate on quality of movement. Aries has to learn to move correctly from the ground up. This involves being loose in the front and hind end and across the back. A very good exercise to loosen things up is yielding. Yielding hind end, then front end. But the key is to yield them evenly, even in tempo and even in degree of yield. And therein lies the challenge. I was getting pretty good yields with the hind end, but Aries was having trouble rocking back on his hind end and bringing the front end around. Rather, we both were having trouble. I was struggling to ask him in the right moments and in the right way so as to make it clear about what I wanted. To make things clear for him, keeping a tempo is imperative. A tempo with my feet and with my hands. It's not unlike patting your head and rubbing your stomach while chewing gum and playing a harmonica. Trying to do all this will eventually be easier, but for now it's tough. Next, I wanted to show Miranda the straightness I had observed in Aries' cervical spine. Bending to the left, he has a nice consistent arch. But bending to the right, there is a straight spot. Now we're getting somewhere with our turns. I have put my ducks in a straighter row, and Aries is following my lead, so long as I don't trip over my own feet. I are both hungry students of bodywork. She has a bit more hands-on experience than me, so she came in to try and work out of some of the knots in Aries' neck. It was a nice little session. Aries will be on ulcer meds for a couple of weeks. I have decided to give him that time off to do nothing. He and I have been working pretty much non-stop for over a year on this journey together, and it has stressed both of us. I want to give him a much-deserved break. I am going to continue to work on some of these techniques I have been learning with other horses, while Aries sits under a palm tree and drinks Mai Tais.